My name is Courtney Espinoza. I work for the City of Fresno, and I oversee Transform Fresno. And it is a little history about Transform Fresno. It was initiated with a Transformative Climate Communities Grant, which was about $66.5 million from the state of California to do some infrastructure projects here in Fresno, specifically in the Southwest, Chinatown, and downtown areas. So this initiative was a suite of about 24 different projects that were all chosen by the community in one of the largest participatory budgeting process the city of Fresno has ever seen. So this part of this campus was funded with TCC funding, not the buildings itself, but all of the greenery, all of the trees, the bioswales, the pathways, anything green and you can walk on and everything like that, those were all funded with TCC dollars. And then Fresno City College, through some bond measures, were able to fund the rest of the project. So the Transformative Climate Community Grant is a 5-year grant. We're now in the middle of year 5. And so we are seeing all of the projects actually come to fruition. And you'll be seeing soon, hopefully, a project about a 10-acre park that's just going to be just south of this campus, community park. So we have a lot of exciting projects. So I encourage you to go to transformfresno.com. That is our website. It has a list of all the projects, what their status is, where they're at, so you can get a little bit more information about the projects. For announcements, unfortunately, Councilmember Arias is the chair of our committee, and he is in Sacramento, so he wasn't able to come today. So that's why I get to get up here and talk. So as far as announcements go, one thing that we are having next week is the Clean Shared Mobility Network project is going to do their launch on Friday the 29th, and that's at 10 a.m. at the Fresno Metro Black Chamber. They are going to launch their car share and bike share programs, so that's going to be really exciting. We've been waiting for that project to get off the ground. So I encourage you to attend that launch if you have time to. And then if you have not signed in at the front, we encourage you to sign in so we have a record that you were here. And with that, I'll go ahead and turn it over to the man of the hour, Dr. Pimentel. He'll tell you a little bit more about the campus.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you for joining us on our new beautiful campus. And I hope you probably haven't had a chance to tour it yet, but you will right after this. So I'm gonna try to make this quick so that you all can go out and take a little tour of the facilities. But first of all, I would like to start with some gratitude and thank you all for being able to provide that extra funding that you mentioned. We did use that funding to fund a lot of the majority of the outside of the campus, and as you can see, it's coming along. It's still not done, but it will be probably in the next month or so. Lots of trees. There's a lot of little bike trails that we have, walking trails and exercise areas. It's built in a way where it recaptures the water for the fountain, for example. So all of that stuff that was funded through the TCC funding. So, I again thank you on behalf of the campus and the district. Thank you for voting on that and for making that possible for us. For those of you that came in June, was it June we had the presentation? I think it was June or July. And you already saw the presentation. Sorry, you're gonna see it again, just with updated numbers, but we do have a presentation that we've been going through. So we started moving in on the 24th of July. That's when the staff started moving all their staff in, the desks and all of the stuff that belonged to them over from the main campus to the West Fresno campus. We opened with the date of our opening of the schedule. Basically, that's when the campus started to be open. We had staff coming back and forth. They were doing things here, and we just started to offer classes, and that's the day that the campus was officially open. we did have a little celebration out here, and we had a couple of events out here already. We are, as you can tell, we are not fully open. Our construction schedule fell a little bit behind, so our advanced transportation center, I never know what that means. Too many acronyms. That's going to open in the spring, and so that's where our automotive, our diesel technology, and all those other programs, the career technical education programs will live. Right now, the facilities that are open right now house, with the exception of medical assistant, all of our general ed classes. And please ask any questions if you have questions as I go through the presentation. Do you want to talk about the project labor agreement stuff? Probably you don't need to know about this unless if anybody interested in knowing about project labor, because I may just lie to you and tell you that I know, and I really don't. This project was part of the project labor agreement, and through the unions, we ended up working that out, and I don't want to go into details on that because it's a long story. So it's an $86.5 million project, 40 acres, and it was funded by the bond measure through Measure C and through the TCC funding. This was a while back, as you can tell. So the facilities here, this is the large group instruction classroom that we have. It's always pretty full in here when you come in. We offer political science classes and several other classes that get pretty full. It's able to house up to 77 people. We do have a large multi-purpose room right as you go into the center, and you'll see that when you take the tour. We have bio and chemistry labs. We have 3 general classrooms, 3 general computer classrooms. We do have a medical assistant program here. The entire program is out here, so that program is upstairs, and you'll see it later. We have a small bookstore. You probably won't be able to identify that yet because the bookstore hasn't moved in yet, but we can tell you where it's at, where it's going to be. We have the library, which is in a corner of the building, and it has all of the study rooms and tutorial centers as well. And of course, it has office spaces. The 2 conference rooms, one is smaller than the other. So this is where your money comes in. The water feature and the bike and trail circuits, and the trees and the plants that we have around the campus, and then the art installation that's going to be right here in front. That's part of the fountain that we have. That one is a little behind. Our artist got a little sick, so we haven't really heard back on when she's going to begin that work, but she was supposed to be started already, but unfortunately she got sick. Do you want to talk a little bit more about the outside? Like the bike trail and stuff?
No, I would just highly encourage, I know that they're still finishing up, but there is a full 1 mile circuit to do with outdoor stations for physical activity. We built the campus with a lot of seating features, hoping that the community will come in on the weekends or in the evenings and enjoy the campus itself. So the campus was designed for that, and we'll highly encourage. I know that there's already students coming across the street from Computech and enjoying the space, and so want families to feel free to do that. I know also Dr. Pimentel just said there is a couple conference rooms, and there's some spaces that were built into the facility for community meetings or group meetings, and we are limited on our hours of service at the moment to 8 to 5, but if there is a need for evening stuff like tonight, Gurminder is able to field those requests, and we want to be able to also be a place where we can gather and connect and have conversations about, projects or activities or community events. So.
And Dr. Berry is one of the deans that will be managing the area related to the automotive center. And I should have probably done this at the beginning, but Gurminder is actually the dean of the center. Raise your hand so everybody can hear. He is the dean out here, and George Alvarado is the director of student services out here. That he is the one leading the efforts on that end. And then Dr. Cooper is the vice president that's overseeing the center right now. So this is what the water feature is supposed to look like. This is right here, right in front in the corner as you walk in, right up where the fence, where it's fenced in right now. That's what it's supposed to look like, and it's supposed to have some artwork in the background. Like I said, that hasn't started because our artist is a little sick. So, yes, ma'am.
I have a question. So you're saying that the community can use the campus to come and walk in the evenings and stuff like that?
Yes.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay, so, and then up until what time?
There isn't, so.
As long as daylight, what you're
Yeah.
saying? Okay.
For now, until we get the lighting, and we do have a police officer that will be out here. That will be. We have a little police station in the back. It's like a small little closet for them. But we do have a police station out here for our officer to be out here, and we do have one person designated for that out here. At the very beginning of all this, when we were first planning to be out here, we did have folks that were a little worried about just the area where it's at. They thought that it would be a little dangerous to be outside. That mentality has changed over time as they've been out here and people have come out here. We've kind of seen, and we've always said, it's a community college. Crime doesn't happen at the colleges. If it does happen in this community, that's a little bit different. It's not going to happen here. So that's one of the things that we addressed at the very beginning, and for some reason we were getting a lot of questions about that. But this is one of the reasons why we hired a police officer to be out here. But we haven't had any issues or anything like that. It's been pretty quiet out here. So this is again back to the art installation, kind of description of what that's supposed to be like. So here's some of the instructional programs that are here right now, with the exception of automotive technology. When we were looking to open the center, there was a belief that this was just the CTE Center for Career Technical Education, and that's not the case. It's never been the case. We've always planned it to be. It's not a full campus because it's not big enough to house a lot of the programs that we want or a lot of the classes, but we do have only general education classes out here right now, with the exception of medical assisting. But if you can tell, we will allow for a full degree in public health and early childhood education, and a social justice degree is going to be offered out here. And then we have a lot of the pre-allied health courses, which is pre-nursing. We have the biology, the chemistry, and all of the classes that go along with that. And those classes are all being offered right now. 52 courses right now, 22 departments are part of what's happening out here right now. So as you can tell, we have English, communications, critical thinking, courses in social sciences. So this is what the enrollment looks like right now. I know that's a lot of numbers and it might be too small, but we have about 826 people out here. That's individual and duplicated, which is taking more than one class. It goes up to 1,319 students. Quite a bit for a campus this size. It's like actually quite a bit of people. We were not expecting that enrollment to be this high. Most of the students that are out here are taking classes at the main campus and here. For the reason for that is because we don't offer the full degrees out here yet because they were going back and forth. So most of the students are coming from the 93706, 93722 zip codes. So it's serving the community. We know that the majority of the students that are coming out here graduated from Edison. They went to Washington Union or some of the surrounding high schools. And those are the main majors that we have out here, which is pre-allied health, business, psychology, medical assistant, and bio. Those are the top 5. We have some ideas on how to implement additional programs, like a teaching program. We want to have a teaching program that will focus on developing teachers for the area, and hopefully they stay in the area. Any questions on this? And so here is the breakdown of the ethnicities. The majority of the students that are out here are Hispanic. There's 584 of them that are Hispanic. 83 Asian, 56 white students, 64 African American students. We are doing a lot of work with our African American population right now, even on the main campus. We've hired some campus to just serve African American students at the high schools. We recently hired a couple counselors to be out at the high schools just serving the African American community. It's something that we saw during COVID. We were starting to see the decline of enrollment from African American students since right before the pandemic. And when the pandemic hit, we went down to like 3% of the entire campus African American population. So we do have that's one of the populations that we are targeting right now because we need to bring them back. Any questions on that? So of course, the majority of our students are female. About 33% are males, and then we have I think this is wrong. Yeah, I think this is wrong. So 17% are non-binary, but I think it's wrong. I'm sorry. I'll correct that. Huh?
Unknown.
Yeah, it's unknown. They're backwards. The non-binary is the 0%. We only have about 2 students.
Pardon me.
Yes, ma'am.
I can't see very well without my glasses.
Okay.
But since it's gender, what's the third gender?
So we have to classify them under non-binary or other. And so
Oh, okay.
they fail to disclose their gender.
That's up to them to.
Yes, yes. And so that's 17% of the population out here. They didn't disclose their gender for whatever reason. Either they chose not to or they identify as part of the LGBTQ community. Yeah.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
So, the college was being built, so how did you, let the high schools know that this college was being opened in the fall and that students could enroll here?
Oh,
So
we
did
went
you
out.
Did you do a program like that where you notified the high schools in the city of Fresno?
We went out to every single high school.
You did?
And we had an outreach team go out to every single high school, and they were promoting the campus, especially the high schools surrounding the campus. So Edison, some of these surrounding high schools, I can't remember all of them right now. I personally went and talked to all the principals as well. We had meetings with them.
So did you also let them know about the program where they can come and go to school for free for 2 years? When you went out to the schools and you talked to them and encouraged the students, give them some incentive, they can come and enroll here.
Yes,
So you
yes, that's part of what we talk about. Is the community college is pretty much free to all students, and so that's how we do outreach for them. Yeah, we try to prevent them from going and getting into debt into university. If we could avoid that, of course. But some of them, they want to go to the university first, and that's okay. But we also promoted dual enrollment, and we should be starting with the dual enrollment program in the spring semester, where the high schools will be busing high school seniors here, either in the afternoons or in the morning time. Yes. Yes, sir.
Are you doing the same outreach, like you're doing at City as far as the black population to reach them in the high schools and stuff too? Do y'all got some type of,
Yes. We do have counselors that are focused on African American students and males, specifically males of color. That's the primary population that we're targeting right now. During the pandemic, we saw a huge decline in our male population, and it was across the board. It wasn't just males of color, it was all males. They were dropping out. So when we started to come back, we started to create programs and different ways of marketing to our males of color. Yeah, especially the males of color, because we lost a huge percentage of our Hispanic and our black males. So, yeah. And we try to be strategic on how we staff the center. So, where are the counselors in the room? So, we have Dr. Santos right here. We have a counselor in the back. We have one here in the front. So you notice the diversity of the counseling staff as well. They try to match the population of the students that are out here. So here are the student support services that we offer at the center. We offer everything that we offer at the main campus. We offer counseling services. We offer disabled student. I can't remember the name of that. Disabled Student Programs and Services. That's DSPS. Financial aid services. We do have a small pantry, and then we have tutorial services as well. And here are the tutorial stuff that we offer. We offer the math support, the PASS, which is English support, drop-in tutorials, drop-in just for any student that's not registered. Not registered for classes, but not registered to come in that day, and then the Reading and Writing Center. And then, as I mentioned, we do have some projects going on with our local high schools where we want to do a strong dual enrollment program with them, meaning start them like their junior and senior year. And a lot of the seniors don't have to take two periods because they are pretty much done. They only have to take the 4 periods. So the last 2 periods, either in the morning or the beginning periods or the afternoon periods, they will spend here with us taking a couple of classes here. So that will get them ahead for the whole year that they're a senior. And that's one of the things that we've been planning out for a couple of years with Washington Union. Kerman and Edison wants to bus their students here as well. So that should be happening hopefully in the spring. So this is part of, the last presentation we did, we had a presentation that dove deep into the staffing of the center. So here's kind of where we're at right now. I mean, this includes other facilities. So West Fresno, for the classified, we have more than 8 staff members out here, but those are the new positions that we started to bring on board. This is allocation. We have 35 faculty members were allocated to Fresno City, and we have a lot of those faculty out here. Some of them are full-time out here, some of them are only temporary, they're coming back and forth, and then you have your adjuncts that teach part-time out here. And so here's our center director of counseling. We do have 2 police officers. One police officer hired already, and then we're trying to hire another one. Then we have the custodial worker, the custodians, the groundskeepers, building trades. And then of course, the faculty that are out here. So I went through that pretty quick. Are there any questions about the center or anything else? This presentation, I think this stuff is too much for all of you. But yes, sir.
When it says a pantry, is it like a snack bar or like a restaurant?
Want to talk about the pantry, the small pantry that you're?
Right now, we have a brief snack bar that we are issuing our students can buy at a very discounted price, like 50 cents. We are working on student services to bring in a small pantry. We will have only non-perishable items. So it's not fully implemented as a scale that we would like it to be as of right now, but we have snacks available for students that we have. Students are there.
Yeah, so if a student is food insecure and they really don't have anything to eat for the day, or they're homeless or whatever, we send them back to the main campus and they could get the 8 items at the main pantry there. On campus, our pantry has seen a huge increase in visits. We have about between 9,000 and 12,000 visits a week from students. So it's a very busy place. That means that there's a big need out there. So the students from here have access to all of the services at the main campus as well. Yes, sir.
What's the status of the Social Justice Center becoming fully operational at this site?
At this site?
Yeah.
The Social Justice Center that we have planned is at the main campus. Yeah, we don't have one planned up here right now.
Okay.
I don't think the facilities will allow for it right now. There's not enough facilities.
Okay. And then what is the student capacity for this campus?
Do you know?
2,500.
2,500.
And is your enrollment strategy to increase enrollment to that capacity over the next 3 years?
I think it'll be really close once we open the Advanced Transportation Center. It's going to be really close because how many students are in that program, in all those programs?
It depends on the semester, but usually in between 300 and 500.
Yeah, so we'll be up close to 2,000 students probably by the spring. Yeah.
And then what does a phase 2 bond measure look like and when?
That's a good question. We are still talking about that. I am not sure when that's going to be coming to reality, but we are starting to plan some things to go out for another bond. Yeah. So that's probably a better question for Dr. Boson because she's the one that's planning those out. But we're starting to do some research and starting to do some canvassing. We're going to start doing some surveys. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
So I didn't see all the details of the class that you're offering. Are you going to be offering any of the Golden Four? That's
We do offer all of them right now.
all
Right?
4 of them?
Yeah, we offer communication, math, English, and what's up?
Speech.
And critical thinking. Yeah, we do have them all out here right now. We offer them all right now. And you have questions?
Yeah, I have a question in regards to the land that you guys also have acquired that's on the back end that's empty right now. What do you guys plan on doing extraction as wise as that? And how does that actually affect the community that's affected that actually lives here and actually regains this area?
The other the property in the background, I think we're thinking of doing a trade center, right? That's what there's conversations about several things, you know, one of the things was working with the trades and doing something with them. I don't know where that's at, you know, it might happen, it might not. We were trying to work with the unions and start a training center for them out here. I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, there's been conversations about that. As far as what happens to the community, we're hoping it makes the community better, but of course, it's only time will tell. You know, this is a food desert out here where we're at right now, so we're trying to get, you know, restaurants to open up out here, more stores, trying to get the roads to be fixed. The roads are really bad out here, so we're trying to get that. Hopefully, the campus being out here, having more people traveling around here, will help with that. But we are talking to the city of Fresno. How do we make that better? Because right now it's not a good place out here. I mean, the roads are terrible out here. I mean, you guys drive them every day, so we're trying to get those fixed. So, yes, sir.
So when you say, you know, because this Southwest is our community. So when you talk about, you know, making it better and everything, are you talking about involving the community with respect to jobs and business and stuff that, you know, as you bring businesses in, you know, like y'all brought the Starbucks in, but I'm just saying.
Well, in my discussions with the city, and I mean, I'm sure Eric has probably more information on that, but I've talked to several of the council members and everyone that has talked to businesses that are trying to come out here. That's been a requirement that they hire people from the community. So have you heard anything different? That's pretty much been the requirement. You know, that they will allow them, they'll give them a business license, or they'll allow them to be here. They hire people from the community. That's kind of that's what they told me. Anyway. Have another question?
Not so much a question, well, question slash statement. You made a statement in regards to this being a food desert, which I'm aware of looking at the Fresno City Government City website, that this is established food desert area. If you guys are looking to do trade centers, why not also look into the fact that, like you said, businesses, restaurants, bringing in local farmers and whatnot to bring in the farmers market to help acclimate the fact that this is a food desert area, as well as help support that community area that this is a rural area slash urban area. So is there anything in your plans that can incorporate that to where you guys can actually help appease the fact that this is a food desert area?
We have
the fact that we have these local restaurants and fast food industries that's nearby us, but it doesn't promote good health.
Right.
And health is actually at a highly effective rate of why our clinics are overran, our hospitals are overran with diseases and illnesses that can actually be cured if the right food is put in place.
Right. We have had discussions actually about that. Chris, do you remember what was the last discussion that we had about having what was it called again? A farmer's market. I'm losing my mind already. So there was. Do you remember what was the discussion that you had with them?
We talked to the city of Fresno, and at that point they had started the farmers market in the Tower District. So they had asked us about maybe doing something out here. So there's a discussion about what day of the week, because those farmers and those vendors, you know, they're a lot of them are committed to certain days of the week, going to the Tower, going to other farmers markets or park, that kind of thing. But there is still discussion about having a farmers market on this campus. But we're not sure what, you know, we need to work out the day of the week.
So we have been talking about that.
Yes, there is a farmer's market in West Fresno that the Housing Authority operates, but their grant funding is getting ready to sunset, so it operates on like the second Saturday of the month. I think the challenge with operating a farmer's market is there is no primary fiscal to do it. So I don't know if the district is looking to say, hey, with some of the feeder schools that are ag-based, like Kerman Central and Washington Union, that if some of their student-run programs could operate something on campus for, you know, 1 or 2 periods out of the day to kind of help meet that need, and then you're developing and strengthening your K-12 partnerships too. But I know that there are other resources that the district could tap into to create something that's more sustainable.
And that's where my question was going to, is that I understand how a typical farmer's market is built, ran, and the type of red tape that normally goes around it, as well as the type of paperwork that you have to submit and have established when it comes to running your own farm or actually implementing the produce to actually be placed in those farmers market. What I'm asking in regards to that is not so much as your standard or your traditional farmers market, but more of a farmers market that's a grocery store to where the farmers are actually able to sell their produce to this market that's ran by students here or local people from this community to actually work at that grocery store market that's farmer produce from these local farms produced here, to where it's not so much like, okay, if a farmer has to take the time out of their day, their schedule, it's a store that we can bring our produce in, it's brought in at that form, put on the shelves, and then we run it that way, to where it keeps people here with jobs, keeps people in the community working, brings teenagers and young people into a formidable, you know, atmosphere of learning how that whole process works. And it kind of cuts around all that paperwork and red tape that most farmers and most people don't have the time to place in and put in effect. So I agree with what you're saying. There are farmers markets that are out here, but on stipulated days. And what about our day-to-day needs, our day-to-day processing? When you go to other countries and you visit these other markets, those markets don't shut down for a certain day or a certain time. Food Max doesn't shut down just to be open up on one day. So when I'm using the term farmers market, it's more of a loosely term to be generalized in a more broader spectrum. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think you bring up a great point. I think the district is really taking your feedback seriously. I think that recognizing that there's a double up program that the district is looking to connect students to with CalFresh to maximize maybe a farmer's market stand here on campus. So I totally hear what you're saying, and I totally agree with it.
Okay, so let's have the.
Okay, so we already have, if you connect with St. West, the church, they have already, that TCC money where they work with farmers too.
Yes, ma'am.
They bring fresh produce or fresh vegetables there. And you can go there, right there at Elm and whatever behind you, St. West. They are, huh?
The church chapter.
Yeah, they're already giving out, have fresh vegetables and stuff that they work with the farmers to bring there. So you can, and they're also building onto that. So they have that, they have Yoville over here. Okay, so they have some farmers over there that they rent a half an acre to. And they grow produce there, and they sell them to people.
Yeah.
Several of them. So you have some of that right here. It may not be a farmer's market that you go to different people or whatever, but the Yoville has several farmers over there that are growing vegetables. And even people in the neighborhood can go and rent a plot for a little money for a year and grow their own vegetables.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
that is already in there.
Yes,
But what you're talking about, like a street farmer's market, I guess. But this is the same thing.
Yes, and I am aware of what you're stipulating. I've worked with a couple farmers personally, Mr. Sherman, Mr. Smith in particular.
Yeah.
And as well as the black farmers that's down here off of California,
Yeah.
where they have their plots that does the exact same thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
I've visited a couple of churches that does exactly what you're saying.
Right.
Me growing up on this side of town at King Estates and knowing some of the elders in the community and knowing how some of the people in this community don't have access to that. Some of the youngins are not with us to this day or not around to be able to appease that factor, being able to go to these locations and make that feasible. At the same time, a lot of the young people in the middle generation where I'm at, they are not willing to go out there and put in that type of hard work that requires
Well,
it.
the farmers that are, you know, hard, they're planting them and they're selling them to people. You can tell them, you can go there and they'll give you a basket, you can buy a basket full of fruit.
Yes, ma'am.
I mean vegetables. And they will put that together of whatever they're growing in that plot.
Yes, ma'am.
So you can go there at Yoville and do that, and you can also go to, like I said, behind St. West.
Yes, ma'am.
And they, you know, you could do that. So you may not be able to go to the tower or wherever, but we are trying to bring fresh vegetables to this district.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So I had a question here, and then there, and then did you have a question still? No? Oh, you were good, okay. Yeah, you said right here.
Yeah, this is concerning curriculum of the college.
Yes.
I was wondering, in the trade or technical training, is there any where solar power is involved here? Because that's the future is now, you know, solar houses, energy, solar cars. That's good training that someone can get and start getting into the market of getting jobs.
So, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so as far as residential solar, that is done on our main campus, and that isn't here, but we do have alternative fuel vehicles that will be part of the Advanced Transportation Center. So that includes electric vehicle, but it also includes hydrogen or battery vehicles. So that training will be here.
That will be going on here?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have, and we also have partnered with TCC. There are two or three solar companies that are hiring people from the district.
That's right.
And they're going and putting the solar
So
on,
we
so
need
they
to
could
get
get
more
training
people
there
trained to
too.
get jobs then.
Well, they can get training, females and males are
Right,
being
right,
trained to
right.
put solar on homes. That is already here.
Oh,
And
okay.
this particular district has a low percentage of people that are taking advantage of having free solar put on their homes. When we have that already in the district to be paid for.
They need to be educated about it. And they will.
Well, we, from the beginning of these meetings, we've said that a lot of people just don't attend, and we send out flyers about the meeting and word of mouth, all of that. They put solar on some of the homes here, but there's still a low percentage of the community that's taking advantage of free solar.
And there's a table out front that has all that information on it.
Yeah.
And I think too, if there are good information pieces, please share them with Gurminder, and we can post stuff around the campus to spread the word on those good projects, whether it's the farmers market opportunities or solar installations. So
And
please
one right
feel
here,
free.
and then you. Yes, ma'am.
The question is around the curriculum as well. Is there any curriculum around ag?
No, we don't. We're not an ag school. And the reason we don't do that is because our sister college, Reedley College, does all the ag.
Okay.
So if we do have interest in ag from our high schools, for example, we'll bring them in and do it. We don't want to duplicate the ag service. Yeah.
And what about first aid?
First aid.
Yes.
We don't have anything on first aid. We do have medical assistant program, but.
And is that like one of the prerequisites maybe or something?
Is it?
It's built into the.
It's built into that
Into
program.
the courses.
Yeah.
Okay. So do you guys consider maybe like the families around here that, might need it just to have it as good security? Just offering that as, something that they can take?
So our health instructors are all certified in that area, and students can actually, and they do work with the community, but they have it on the main campus. It's not an issue if they want to have some people be certified. Is that what your reference is? Because we do have that in our, as a matter of fact, I'm going to take that class pretty soon because I'm babysitting a 4-year-old. And so I'm going to take that class, which is really important.
Okay, so this community would have to go to the main campus?
I'm not saying necessarily because we don't have an issue bringing our instructors out here to do stuff like that because they do it all the time. All of our nurses, all of our medical assistants, all those people need that. So that is something that we already have, and if the community could request that, it's not a big deal for Dr. Alvarado and Gurminder to get that going for the community, set it up at a certain time. So I just wanted to help with that.
So it depends on the need or the desire, the want.
Yeah, if we get enough people in, and we do have the class, I'm sure we could offer it. It's not a problem. Yeah. And then I had a question here, and we're running out of time, so.
Well, so I noticed when I was driving here that there was a lot of the areas to get here won't have sidewalks, which I would assume would make it not part of the city of Fresno, would be part of the county. Is there plans, is this part of the city of Fresno
It's
and all
part of
the
the city.
surrounding areas around this? Is it going to expand the city? You guys, is the city going to incorporate the land around here? Or is there going to continue to be no sidewalks?
I see Courtney shaking.
Yeah, this is the city of Fresno, and the surrounding area is part of the city of Fresno. Not everywhere has sidewalks, but they're working on this street, like for instance, here on Church, they're redoing the street, they're putting in new sidewalks, we're doing a lot of stuff.
But this was always, like 5 years ago, this was city of Fresno?
Yeah, this has been the city of Fresno.
This Southwest, man, we don't get things right.
Trying to get some love here,
It
yes.
looks county, but it's city. It looks county.
Yes, sir, you have one more question.
Student aid, office here on campus or
Financial aid does come after. I don't think they're here every single day, but we do have 3 days a week that we
Yeah, I
have.
have a daughter that's intending in the fall, so just go to Fresno City.
Should you go to the main campus or here whenever there's somebody here? Yes.
We made a couple of different pass outs before you guys came in, but all of the business hours for our services are on this one that has a lot of QR barcodes. But financial aid is one of them that's listed
They're
there.
all right here, before you walk
All
out,
right.
the hours and.
Thank you. So we're gonna do some tours now. Who are the tour guides? Here's one, and then